To all of you high school, college students out there, this week on the Ferguson Home, we've got 10 rules for dating. And so for all you parents of teenagers, you might want to listen in as well. Hey, this week on the Ferguson Home, we are excited to do part 1 of our video 10 rules for dating.
But we really love this topic, so it could actually be part 1 of like 10. I don't know. We'll see how far we go.
But we are giving the love and the shout out to all of the teenagers out there. I'm wearing my Stony Point t-shirt today, and Barie's got her baseball
and
shirt on.
Kids.
And so to all of you young people out there, we'd love to speak to you about dating. These are the phrases that our kids, our teenagers hear around our house all the time. And so we're going to give it to you in the format of 10 rules for dating. So let's dive right into this first part of our series on the 10 rules. Number 1, find your identity in Christ, not a boyfriend or a girlfriend. This one is huge. Because if you don't know who you are and you go into the dating world looking to find yourself in a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you are going to make all kind of bad choices. Compromise your standards. You're going to do things that you're going to regret later because you have elevated dating to a place of trying to give you your identity, which you just can't support.
Yeah. Number 2 is date late and marry early. And this one throws off a lot of people when they come to us, and we'll have parents that'll come up to us at church and say, we want you to talk to our kids to tell them it's too early for them to marry. And we're like, well, we should tell you what we believe on this one. So why do we say that?
Well, we talk to too many teenagers who are trying to date too early. And so they're saying, well, I've got a boyfriend or girlfriend and I'm in 7th grade. Okay, first of all, you don't. That is not really the time for you to find a boyfriend or girlfriend. That's too early.
And if you do, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
So go ahead and break that one up.
And then we talk to a lot of people who are waiting later and later and later to get married. And so the rule of our culture right now is to date early and date often and then marry late. And so people are getting married late 20s, early 30s, even into their late 30s for their first marriage. And so what we believe, just from our experience looking at Scripture, is that we need to flip those things around. And we want to encourage you, wait till you're older to start dating. Okay, we'll give you some thoughts about when you're ready to start dating here in a minute. But second of all, when you find that person and you're ready to get married, make that decision and go ahead and commit and get married. We were just 21 years old. We had just turned 21 when we got married.
I was still 20.
You were still 20. And here we are almost 20 years later, still married, still enjoying our relationship. And so I know a lot of people think, oh, it's too early. You need to have all these things in place before you get married. But in our experience, especially if you're trying to honor God with your purity and your sexuality, when you find that person and you know each other well and you're a good fit for each other, then go ahead and get married and make that commitment to the relationship.
Yeah, and the longer that you are just in these dating relationships and you're not ever making the commitment, the harder it gets to make the commitment. And on the other side of that is that the longer that you're single and you develop all these habits of independence, then when you bring two people together for marriage and you've been independent and had all these rhythms and habits that you've built for years and years and years, it can be a little bit more difficult and tricky. So we just want to be the voice in your life that's a lot different than what culture says, and that marriage is really good. Our kids hear that all the time. We tell them we love being married. We love that we have all the memories together from when we were teens, and so it's a good thing. And you're probably not going to hear that from anywhere else.
That's right. Dating rule number 3: be a good friend first. I am telling my kids this all the time, and that is, before you start trying to figure out how to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, just learn how to be a good friend to the opposite sex, And we run into boy teenagers all the time who don't know how to talk to girl teenagers who don't know how to talk to boys. And it's like, listen, don't make this super awkward and weird because it's all about romance and kissing and going out and all this stuff. Just be friends. Learn how to be a good friend.
Be able to look at each other and laugh. If you're still at the point where you can only text each other or you sit by each other and, through Snapchat or Instagram or whatever, then that's not learning to be a good friend first. Good friends laugh together. They enjoy being together to hang out. They enjoy each other's personalities, and not just when they're kissing.
And I'll give you a secret here, and that is that the best marriages come from the best friendships.
Yeah.
And so the number one thing that you need to do in your relationship with each other to make sure that you have a good marriage in the future is you need to be best friends.
Yeah.
Like Barie and I are best friends, and that's not a show. Like, we enjoy being together, but we were friends before we were married. And so you got to learn how to be a friend.
Yeah, because once you grow into adulthood and you get married and you start, responsibilities add up. So if you're not having fun with each other and enjoying each other just as friends now, when life is relatively easy, then as the pressure comes, then you're really going to struggle to find that friendship because you're going to be at odds a lot. So
yeah, and by being a good friend, what we mean is that you're thoughtful, that you know how to communicate, that you're kind, that you're not just trying to get something for yourself, which is a lot of why dating relationships are unhealthy, is because it's actually trying to use somebody else to get what you want.
and feel good about yourself,
Yes.
or secure, and
Versus being a good friend, which is saying, hey, I'm here to support you and to be there for you. And so learn how to be a good friend. It's just really important.
Okay, the next one for number 4 is to honor your parents. And I actually just had a conversation with our oldest in the car, and we were talking about how I was just reminding him that my responsibility is to help him succeed, right? To help equip him for life. And so my heart for him is always good. So when I give him counsel about his dating relationships or even friendships, I'm hoping he's listening because I don't have bad intentions. Like, the two of us we're his biggest fans. And so just reminding, if you're a teen, remember that your parents are your biggest fans. They want the best for you. And you're not going to agree with them all the time, but there's a reason why God said to honor your father and mother. And with that comes a promise in the Bible. So yeah, what other thoughts do you have?
Well, just the Bible talks about the fact that when you reject correction, that really you're a fool. And so, all of us, I mean, we knew each other in high school. We dated. We were foolish when we were young, and we would do things, that would push up against our parents' boundaries and rules and all the things that you do as a teenager. But the issue is how do you respond when you get correction? How do you respond when your parents come in and say, hey, you stayed out too late, you need to be home at this time? Or, hey, next time I need you to treat your date this way, or say it this way.
Yeah, or for your dates right now, I want y'all to do your dates like in our home and not one-on-one, and not to reject that, but to listen to it because it's wise counsel.
Yeah, and just what Barry's trying to say is when your parents set those boundaries in your life, it's because they love you and they're for you, and they can see the long term that you're just not thinking about right now. You're just thinking about, hey, how can I have fun this weekend with this girl I think is pretty, or this guy I think is cute? And your parents are thinking about the next 20, 30, 40 years of your life. And so because of that, part of the whole idea of honor is to not be bitter and angry at your parents because they are doing their God-given role of setting some healthy boundaries in your life, but to respect them and to honor them, to actually, be thankful that you have parents in your life who would say, hey, I care about your dating relationships and the way you do things. So just listen to them, respond to their gentle correction, their advice, their counsel, and your life's just going to go so much better if you honor your parents by the way that you date.
And I would just challenge us as parents that we can't parent out of fear. And so if you're parenting out of fear, then that is gonna, your kids are gonna struggle with that, because they're gonna they can sniff out whether, okay, they're really helping me to get on the right direction for my life, or they're just trying to shelter me and protect me from the world, and that's not sustainable. And so I would just challenge you as parents that make sure that you're in the right place and you're not parenting out of just a fear-based parenting model.
That's good. And number 5 on our 10 rules for dating is honor their parents. So Barie shared number 4, which is honor your parents. But this is a real passion for me, and that is that remember that the person that you're dating, you're going out with, they are a son or a daughter themselves. And so you want to honor their parents in the way that you treat them, right? And so for me, some of my general thoughts about how that works is, guys, if you're going to go take a girl out on a date, you ought to be able to go to her parents and meet her parents and talk to her parents and do it in a respectful way and say, you know, I'm so honored to be able to take your daughter out on this date and I'll have her back at this time. And what are you doing? You're honoring her parents in the way that you're treating her. And I'll just tell you, as a dad that has a daughter, like that just takes you so far in relationships when you don't just honor the person that you're dating, you honor their parents. Because again, you've known that person for 5 minutes. That parent has invested 15, 16, 17 years of their life shepherding, providing for, raising that son or daughter. And so honor their parents in that dating relationship.
Yeah, for sure.